Well, here we go. I am going to work on the next birdhouse, treehouse. I guess they're tree houses. So I don't know how much we're going to get done, but I am ready to get moving into the very next direction. And we're going to start out again with our Prisma colors. We've done a lot so far in all of our little houses. So let's get going on the very next one. Let's see what we can get done on all of these beautiful little houses. And I am going to start out with my pumpkin orange and my mineral orange, which is going to be the tree and any of the wooden parts. So let's get it all the way up where I can see the bottom from my camera. There we go. So we're going to start in our little tree, and let's see where, move it over. So I just want to see my finger. Because this is this part. Okay, that's how I know to stay in frame. I can see my fingers. I could probably use this so I can see where it stops. I know it's not your problem, it's mine. So I'm going to take my cream and go down the middle of my tree, and I had a little bit of color on this. So just like white, you have to be very careful. And then I am going to come in with my mineral orange. And I'm just going to start down here at the bottom of my little tree. And I'm just going to start filling in. Welcome to all of my new subscribers. Welcome to all of my old ones, and on those who haven't even subscribed and are just watching today. Thank you for watching. I do appreciate each and every one of you. Now, I put this yellow down so that even if I go over it, it's going to give a different tone than what it's going to look like if I didn't. So we're learning to also mix colors so that we can see what two different colors together look like. And I've even been doing some of that on accident on this video. So that's all that matters, is that we give it a try and see what it looks like. And keep you a little piece of paper. I seem to forget And I use my little sticky notes, which don't help a lot because they're colored. So, using a little piece of white paper, practicing, seeing what your color is going to look like. It does help. And if you're going to blend too, try it on your little piece of paper. Or you can do like I do and have happy accidents. So I don't think you can tell, but there's kind of like a light yellow going down the center of my little tree here. And we got Mr. Squirrel over here. And we will get him in a little while. I just think this page is so cute. I started it quite a while ago and did the very first tree, and I haven't gotten back to it. And I was planning on doing one of the tree houses here and there, which again, I didn't get back to it. So each of these trees don't have to be exactly the same, but what I did is I made me a little sticky note and put the trees and what colors I used in the tree and left it in this page. And now I don't have to worry about, oh my gosh, I have no clue what color I used. And I really wanted this all to kind of blend together all the way across like it does. So I've mixed some a little bit, like up in here, I mixed some of the browns into the roofs, just so that these colors all come together. And when I open this page, it's not going to look like I colored this page at one time and that page at another time. It's going to look like I had this all planned out. Well, if you know me, I do very little planning, and I just get started and I just start to color. And every time you see my hand laid down, it's because I'm looking in the camera, trying to see if I am in frame. And in frame just means that you can see what I'm doing if you're new to this. Because I'm using my phone camera. And it's got a little screen and it's tilted a little bit. But because of the bright lights that we have to use to film this, to try to get you guys the very best that we can do, giving you what looks like a good color. So when I look into my camera, I can't always see unless I stand up and realize what's going on in there. Okay, and so we're going to do a lot of highlighting on this tree. And if you know me at all and been watching, I use normally 3 colors or more, unless it's a tiny, teeny, tiny spot. And I just make it solid. And I'm going to leave that little light spot right there. I think this is the cutest side of all. just because it's got little bridges and everything is kind of combined together. All right, so now I'm going to take my pumpkin orange, and I'm going to start coming into the inside of all of the branches that are big enough for me to get into. If they're really tiny, I don't. And every once in a while, I even forget to do my shading, which you can look at your picture and it'll look like you forgot something. It looks flat. Where the more you try to add more colors, and you don't want something that's going to be so different that you can really see what is called a hard line, like the difference between this roof and this pink, the blue, and that's a hard line in between there, where if I was trying to blend these together, they would turn into a soft blended look. It wouldn't be look like that at all. So even when I'm adding all of these colors to this tree, it's not to make it look like a hard line. So I got out of line there. I'm going to take my little electric eraser. And until I did all of this, I just couldn't believe anybody would want to use an electric eraser. I don't know how I would live without it now. I don't always keep my pencils sharp unless I'm trying to do small areas. Okay, and it's always darker where these branches hit. And we're going to come in here with one more darker color. And sometimes little circles work better, where other times they don't work at all for you. But usually in a small area, circles work very good. So you just got to kind of see. I have run into where, nah, circles are just making it look worse. And sometimes it's your pencil. You know, they all have different amounts of wax or oil in them. And these are wax. And I heard that all pencils have wax and oil in them. But if they're wax, if they call them wax and they have, I guess, more wax than they do oil. So it's just a small amount, I guess, of oil. I don't know for sure. That's just what I was listening to. And I try to erase right away, because if I wait till later and I accidentally erase some of the tree, and I don't know what color I was using, then I have to try to find the color and fix it. And so it's just better just while you got the pencils in your hands to erase and fix it. And I bet you I was out of frame, and I'm sorry. I have to remember we're at the bottom. Very sorry. So I'm just trying to go all around the edge, and as I got down here to the bottom, I filled it in a little more. And you in some places you can see where I have colored more than others. And now I'm just going to another place you can hardly tell, but it's very important that you do it. So now there it is. It popped up right away. Wow, what do you know about that? I've been using my hand, and we're not supposed to use our hand because it flakes off, and that flaking will get smeared into your paper. So now I've got blackberry, black raspberry, and I'm just using it kind of like in the darkest places on my tree. This is such a tall picture, and we're trying to work on. I'm going to have to be very careful to keep you in the... So I'm doing a little bit at the top. This you want to be really careful. You can take everything out. And I'm only doing it on one side. Whoops. And you don't want to press, you just want to let your pencil do the coloring, or you're going to get it way too dark. Just go over it a few times until it and the bottom is usually the darkest. There might be a few places. And it's always darker right here in these little You don't need to go very far. You don't have to go very, very dark. So we're just going to work on it. Now, if, like you get it a really dark spot, then just come in with your medium color, which would have been our mineral orange, and the other one was our pumpkin orange, but you can just kind of work it out. Just kind of work it out. Okay? And the main thing with Prisma is, when I first started with Prisma, I just did not, I did not know what I was doing wrong, because things were just, I would get so much pencil down, and it would just be so, like if you took a crayon and colored your page, because crayons are wax. And it was horrible, and I'd be erasing it and trying to get it off, and it would be on there so dark that by the time I erased it, usually there was about the color I wanted it to be in this. And it's because I was heavy-handed. I was trying. Prisma is the one that you can use the lightest touch. And if you have problems with your hands, and Prisma is the easiest one, I think, to color with. Once you get used to just barely, you know, putting any pressure. And when you do put pressure, it's just a little bit in certain areas, because that's all you need. Because this color, this pigment comes right off and right onto the paper. Really, and it just takes some practice, especially if you're heavy-handed. I think I've always been heavy-handed. So I'm just re-generating this because I know many of you have heard me say it, and most of you already know it. But I didn't. And if you're new and you don't know what to get or what to buy or what to do, it took me a while to get used to my Prisma, but now they are my top #1 go-to pencils, because I can color for hours with these, and it's more relaxing because they're so easy to color with. That's the whole story. Okay, so now I'm going to come back in with my pumpkin orange, and I'm just going to come in a little further. I do not want to lose the light part in the middle of my tree, so I just barely want to let it get darker and darker. With my tree. And most everything I do, I use the 3 colors: medium, darker, and lighter. And just go slow. And just let it, because I can hold this pencil clear back here and do the same thing. If you're heavy-handed, do not hold your pencil up close. And you'll find yourself down there with this pencil like this, where if you just let go and let the pencil just move with your hand. I'm just darkening it in a few spots, letting the tree do what it wants to do. I'm going over and just getting rid of any white spots. Even on this little piece of lumber. I'm not sure. I think they got all of this lumber off of their little land here. So I'm just trying to give it all. I think I already did those. And I'm going to come back and erase some of this lines I'm getting out of lines with. I do have new glasses coming. I sure hope they help. Okay, so I think our tree is basically done. Now I'm going to go ahead with my mineral orange. And I need my do you see how your pencil, my pencil's got the wood all the way to the end, but on this side it isn't. So I put my little pencil in this little box so that I can just grab it. And I'm just going to try to just cut that wood on this one side off. Okay, that's better. I don't know why they do that, but they do that. And I don't like my pencil this sharp unless I'm doing something really tiny, because you usually press down too hard at some point and you just break it off anyway. But we didn't have a choice because it wanted to act up on us. So I've learned not to try to just sharpen, but just keep sharpening it over that little spot and get the wood off of it. For me, that means I'm not wasting all of my pencil or more of my pencil. And I can't believe there's a spider down here. He must have moved in when we weren't looking. We already did all the greenery at the bottom on the other one. Look, we got a cute little rabbit down here. Okay. I just wanted to fill that in. But now we got a little squirrel. And I think, where's my... I'm going to clean off his tail. I'm probably going to put some chalk background on him. Or not on him, but in the picture. Do the sky and some. So I'm going to take my white. And this is my Chinese white by Derwin. I've got this one, and you see how I just put color on his tail, which will be okay, but and under his belly, and a little bit on his face, and then let's see what colors terracotta. Let's see if we can very lightly color him terracotta. Just try to find in a color. That is the opposite of what the trees are. So this will make him a little more browner. See, in this little tiny area, I am using little circles. All right, so now I'm going to start at the top and work my way down. Like that. And I'm just going to use my mineral orange real lightly. And just to do that. And then I'm going to take a permanent needle nose marker. And I'm going to make his little eye darker so that you can see him. And I'm going to take my crimson and see if I can just barely touch his little nose. And I did. Okay. So now, because his tail isn't showing up so good, I'm going to come back in with my pumpkin orange. And right under his tail, I'm going to really darken around it. And see how that just makes his little tail pop out? And he looks really cute now. So he's done. And we have this little door. And what do we got here? Our goldenrod. So I'm going to sharpen it. It's much lighter. So I'm going to come down here and do the little door. Like that. And all the little squirrels' windows and doors, I'm going to go under it. And I'm going to go over this, but then we're going to go over it with the terracotta. Kind of like that. So there we go. We're using two colors again. And I'm going to just put a little bit of color in these little planks on his door. Just a little bit. Okay, and then I think we'll just go ahead and do this rope with the terracotta. Like that. Okay, I'm going to move everything over, and let's see. I'm going to do these because that way I don't have to think about, well, what color did I use? So I'm going to go ahead and color these in. Okay, so do we have any more? I don't see any more. I mean, we could do this little ladder, just the rope. Just the rope. Okay, and then let's do our goldenrod on the wood. Oh, it's been cold all day, and now it's getting hot. And remember, you can always use a lighter color over your darker color to fill in. So I'm just going to give it a little tiny taste. Okay, now I don't want to do this, but I got to do it. I have to color this little black spider in. And let's see, I put the black in with something that would be light. And where would that be? Do you ever put something away and think, now I will find it? Oh, I don't know where it's at. So we're going to use 90% gray. And that's probably even better. And it's just going to be a little black spider. Just like that. Since I got this, I'm going to put a little black on these doors. Okay. So we've got most of this bottom part done. So now, okay. I'm just getting rid of all the, what I said don't do, I'm doing. And I see a spot over here where I've maybe if I go to Walmart, I'll find me one of those little short-handled, but a real puffy little. It's hard to find anything anymore, though, you know? Used to be you had lots of choices, but they took our choices away. All right, so this little house, we've got a blue house, a wood house, and a pink house. So I'm thinking, I'm looking here. I have some pastels, so I think maybe we'll just stick with Prisma for today. So I don't want to go too dark. I don't want to go too light. I was thinking more of lavender. How about lilac? Let's see if we can get started with lilac. Just fill it in. I'm just going over and over it until it's all filled in, but I'm not pressing down. Not if you're using Prisma. Do not press down. Just go over it a few times and it's gonna, boy, that's a bright color and I didn't want it to be bright. So let's try doing our white again. Tone down that color. Okay, that's a little prettier. So, got to go around all these little leaves. Yeah, excuse me 1 second. I gotta turn that fan on. Thank you. As I'm looking out the window to shut the shades, I'm seeing some really black clouds coming this way. This is a cute little house too. So I'm just coloring it really light. And if you got a little point on your pencil, you can, I don't know if you can see that, but it left a darker spot. And that is because when you have a point or a sharper point on your pencil, it will do that. If you're trying to get a nice, smooth, soft blend across your little page. These houses aren't turning out exactly the colors I wanted them, but I'm trying to stick with Prisma. And sometimes you're just limited on colors. So I was trying to stick with them so that those who are using Prisma can follow along easier. And I did say this is lilac. Yeah, I did. Sometimes when I tell you again, then I remember, oh yeah, I did. Better to tell you twice than to forget altogether, right? I like it with the white. It softens it very nicely. Got something right there that doesn't want to move. There we go. Now I got it out of the way and it's gone. It was probably a piece of the color pencils of something that was in it. So I am pressing in. I'm trying to get it to just kind of melt together. And then it picked up something black. Usually if you just go over it and over it, it'll get rid of it for you. And mostly you want to go in the same direction. It's got a few little spots I want to. Few of these little houses have some parts that are a little sketchy. I'm just kind of shading it a little bit. Okay, now I think I'm looking for what is 30%? What is this one? 20%. I think I'll go with the 30. I know, what am I doing? And a 70%, but I don't think I want that color. What is this one? This is the color I want. 70% gray. Okay, let me sharpen this one. Because we're going to make these little stones look like little stones. So I'm going to color them all in a warm 20%. And I thought when I was filling in my pencil set that I wouldn't use gray. I use a lot. Okay, now I'm going to take my 70% and I'm going to very carefully and very gently go around my little stone. Very lightly, because I don't want it to get too dark. Oh, this is a big one. Okay, so I'm going to take my Prisma white. I'm going to go right in the center. And then I'm going to go around the edge. So go in the center first, and then just go around the edges. Wipe your center or your pencil off and I think that just softens it. I'm not trying to drag that other color into that, but that makes a nice little stone. And that's what we learned in one of the videos, is how to do the stone. So on something this small, I'm just going to use 2 colors. Now we can, if we wanted to even go darker, which would be the 70%. And that would be just a barely. And I said I was going to leave it, but I was just showing you how much. Especially in these little things right around the door handle. But you can see from one side to the other what a difference it will make. Kind of like that. And that makes it look real nice. Let's do the little handle and these little there we go. So now I'm going to do this one like I did the little lean-to, and I'm just going to color it in and then go over the white, and it'll be a little darker than the bottom, which is kind of what I want. Okay, and I just want to see if my Prisma white is any different than my Duart. So this is a test. Okay, I did that side. Now I'm going to use my Duart Chinese white pencil. And I want to see what difference it could it make. I'm working a little harder. It might be a little bit wider. But if I worked with this one a little more, what would happen? They're actually about the same, aren't they? Okay, what about the little water tower? Should we make it I'll make it lighter. And then we'll come over with the white. Okay. All right, so what color are we going to use? Okay. I was thinking gray. But how about that Caribbean blue that we used? What did we use that on? I used it on something. Let me just test it a little bit. Okay. I'm liking it. With the purple, lavender, lilac. I do like that. I think we'll make the little shingle roof like we did over here. All of this needs to go into the wood. That's what I'm thinking. So if we do a little bit of blue. And I think we're going to finish this off with the blue too. Because I like it. Okay. We'll make the door a wooden door with the wood colors. Just like that. And we'll do the little Okay, and what else do we got? Let's do this little pot. Kind of like that. So I know I don't know what to color this. Kind of hard to figure it out. Okay, and our little green leaves. Let me. What do we got? True green. And color a little that. Let's take Kelly green and just try to do the bottoms a little bit. Like that. That just kind of, okay. I think this is supposed to be like a cactus plant. I'm not sure. And just go over the top of it. This one with this, do it the opposite. Okay. And then whatever this little plant is, let's give it some true green and chartreuse, like that. So I think these ones we're just going to do in, what is this? Kelly green. Okay. That little tiny fan sure helps a lot just to stir up the air. Okay, so I'm just looking. This is a little different, but we'll do the bottom in the chartreuse. And we'll do the top in true green, just to make it look different. Alright, I'm not sure what that is. That must be a step. So, I'm going to do this. Like that. And then switch back and forth to mineral orange. And our pumpkin orange. So I'm going to not cover, this little door because it's wooden. In our mineral orange, which is the lighter. And then I'm going to come back with our orange, pumpkin orange, which is our darker. I'm just going to go down these lines. Okay, and then let's just go around this. Make it good and dark. And then we we just got the upper part to finish. So I think tomorrow I will have any wooden parts done, because you know how to do that now. And then we'll just color this last little house together. Let's see. Our little bucket. All right, let's get the roof done. I'll use the pumpkin orange and just shade one side of the little house like that. Okay, and then I'm gonna come back to my mineral and do all these little planks. I don't see how this is possibly standing up like this, but it is. Okay, and then I'm going to take, where is it? That powder blue. I know I had it out. Well, just find a very, very light blue. I'm just going to give these little windows, just to take the white out of it, like that. Sky blue, powder blue, one of those will work perfect. Alright, so now I need that I'm looking for slate gray. Oh, there it is, right in front of my nose. Okay. Because I think this is metal. Keep it like that. And a little rope like that. Oops, we got one more. We got one more. Hang on. We forgot this little deck. And that is our mineral orange. And then we're going to use our pumpkin orange to shade it in a little bit. Like that. And I think we're done. I still have a spot down here. Okay. So, we got our little house done. Let me see, just in case you can't see the color very good. Because the first little house you couldn't see very good. Okay. Well, let's just go back up and show you. These little houses. Just so you can see the color good. And there we go. So we've got one more house left to do. And I'm going to do the wooden parts. Anything that's wooden. Wooden. And we'll color it in on the next video. So thank you for watching. And if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. It really helps build my channel for all the work that I put in. And I've put a lot of videos out, and I've worked very hard so that you can see how to do different things through my eyes. And if you hit the bell, click on that bell, you'll get the notices. Plus, if you hit that bell, it also causes other people, the algorithms, to want to show my videos more. So if you'll subscribe, click on the like, and hit the bell, click on that bell, you will help me tremendously. And you all already are so much, and I really, seriously appreciate each and every one of you, and I thank you for all my subscribers and all those who just watch. And if you don't want to subscribe, that's fine. It's fine. And those who spend time watching them, I really, really thank you so much. So very much for all that you do for me and being a part of my family. So if nobody's told you today that you're amazing, you're wonderful, and you are made in a special way. You were created to be you. So just hang in there and just keep telling yourself, I am worth it. Okay? Let me stand up and see if I can show you the whole picture. Because I have to lift this up quite a ways for you to see the whole thing. And I think that, yep, you can see it all now. So there we go. We got one little batch left to do, and then the little houses are done. So I love you all. Hugs and kisses.